If your hands have ever looked like this or this when it's cold in the wintertime, you might have something called Raynaud's. The first time that I think I experienced Raynaud's, even though I didn't even know I had Raynaud's at the time, was when I was about 8 and I was in primary school. I was playing outside with my friends and I think it must have been winter time, and I didn't have any gloves. And when I got inside, my hands were still so cold, even after a long while. It could have been an hour or so and my hands would still be freezing. But the thing that stood out the most was that 2 of my fingers turned white. At the time, I thought it was quite exciting. I would show all my friends and they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, that's so weird," like 8-year-olds would do. But yeah, I don't really do that well in the cold. Didn't realise that all of these things was a sign of something that is known as Raynaud's. Raynaud's disease is a condition that affects some parts of the body, especially when they are exposed to cold temperatures, although anxiety and stress can also trigger the condition. With Raynaud's, what happens is a thing called vasospasm, and that's when the small arteries that are meant to be supplying blood to those body parts get narrow and constrict, and make it so that there is less blood going to those body parts. This in turn limits the blood circulation that are going to those particular body parts. Usually with Raynaud's, it affects your fingers and your toes, but it could also affect other body areas like your nose, your lips, and even your nipples. Yeah. Obviously, only a doctor or a specialist or professional can diagnose you with Raynaud's, but if you experience some of these symptoms, you might want to get it checked out. One of the symptoms that you'll experience is being very, very cold, which is quite an obvious one. When you go outside and your hands are cold, and then you come inside and they are still cold for quite a long period of time, like an unusual period of time, like you notice your friends and family are all fine and you're still freezing, that could be a sign and a symptom. So the other symptom, which is quite a big one that a lot of people identify with Raynaud's, is the body part changing colour. Now, interestingly enough, this doesn't have to happen for you to be diagnosed with Raynaud's, but it is something that does happen to a few people. So whichever body part that's affected, it will change colour. So it may turn white and then progressively turn to blue and then turn bright red when the blood comes back. But once again, this doesn't actually happen to every single person with Raynaud's. Another symptom is that you experience some sensations. So I myself will experience prickly sensations, a bit of pain, a bit of stinging. It's quite uncomfortable to deal with, and that's another sign as well. Another symptom is a lack of mobility. So I find that if I go outside and it's really cold and I come back inside and my hands are still cold, I can't move them as quickly and as well as I usually can because of that, and it takes a while for them to warm up for me to be able to have full range of motion. So there are 2 types of Raynaud's. There's primary and secondary. Primary basically means that the Raynaud's has come about not by an underlying condition. So you don't have to have some kind of other chronic illness to actually have Raynaud's. You can be quite healthy in most respects and still develop Raynaud's, and this would be primary Raynaud's. Secondary Raynaud's, as obviously you can tell, is caused by an underlying condition, whether that be scleroderma, lupus, etc. It's caused by something else. Some say that this tends to be a more serious form of it, but it does depend on the person. Raynaud's is fairly common and it doesn't necessarily have to be a serious illness. A lot of people that develop it have fairly mild cases. There are some cases that can be quite serious though and cause further issues like skin sores and tissue death. But for the most part, most people won't experience those serious symptoms. Sadly, Raynaud's has no cure. There is no way to completely get rid of it. There are some obvious common sense things that you can do. Staying inside as much as you can when it's cold, or if you do have to go outside, wearing protective clothing, gloves, thick gloves and coats and scarves and hats and things like that. And also buying good gloves, because I find that the little cheap ones that you get from the shop do nothing for me. I have to get ones with quite a few layers. Oh, and there are these socks that I wear for my feet that are amazing that I'm gonna link into the description box. Not sponsored by them at all, they're just absolutely fantastic. They just have a lot of lining and they are so warm. But yeah, those are some of the things you can do. There's also exercise as well if you can do it, and if you smoke, stop that because it doesn't help. I also want to take the time to also mention that there's a charity called SRUK, and it's a charity dedicated to improving the lives of people with scleroderma and also Raynaud's. They're a charity here in the UK, and so if you want to, you can check them out because they do really, really good work on educating people, because that's where I got some of the extra information about Raynaud's for this video. I'm not sponsored or affiliated with the charity at all, but I just thought it would be cool to mention and tag them in it because these people are doing really, really good work to improve lives that are suffering from some of these conditions. So definitely check them out, and I will link them in the description box below as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Do you have Raynaud's disease, Raynaud's phenomenon as it's sometimes called? And what sort of tips and tricks do you do to lessen the effects of it as much as possible? If you have any ideas, put them in the comment box below. If you liked this video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel because that will really help me out a lot, and put on the notification bell so that you are notified whenever a video gets uploaded. I'm trying to have a more consistent schedule now, and so I aim to be uploading videos every Sunday, and yeah, every Sunday. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.